Hey guys, Turret here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Crossroads, playing for you today. Spawning in the south is me, and in the north we have miragefla. We're playing a bit of competitive mod, his mod, to try and balance this game properly. Now a lot of you may have a bit, may be aware that a few of the changes from this mod got implemented into the official game, but kind of like took like 3/4 of like some ideas and then decided to add their own flavor to it, like in the case of the US model, which obviously didn't turn out too well. Still overpowered a couple months later. And penals as well, maybe they're a little bit too strong also. So yeah, there's still a whole bunch of different changes in the competitive mod. Call-in tanks now cost significantly more when you don't have tech, so you might be able to call in one and it'll work, but your second one will bankrupt you. You just won't be able to get a second one. Trying to encourage tech play. Yeah, and just like a lot of commander abilities that were irrelevant have also been reworked to become decent. Which is why I've got a different commander loadout than what you'd see in most competitive games. I don't think you see any of these in the competitive 1v1. So I've gone for 3 rifles. What I decided I want to do this game, let's go for recon support, get in that Greyhound. The Greyhound does come at 3 CPs, so it's a little bit late. But yeah, I'm going 3 rifles Lieutenant, 50 cal Greyhound. That's the aim. Similar build, I might be able to squeeze an ambulance in there, depends how the engagements go and whatnot. miragefla, on the other hand, has been tweaking the Sturm Officer recently. So that's what he wants to field. Give that a few playtests. And he's going aggressive after my field. He's suffered quite a lot of bleed though. I did a lot of damage to those other Sturms. Now this squad here. He's going to take my fuel, but I've taken his cutoff, so even Stevens really. And there is the officer. Changes to this. Now it's got different like activatable abilities. Like now you can the buff isn't just like a guaranteed aura. You like target it onto a unit, and you can also target a unit and make them better defensively, which is pretty cool. And I don't think if you kill the officer model it forces everything to retreat, though I'm not 100% sure on that one. Which is one of the main reasons why you don't see anybody go for the officer. May still be in the case, may still happen. Because I mean, otherwise this would be a bit underpriced. Remember that this has 3 Obersoldaten models. Obviously you can't get the LG on them, but still Obersoldaten for 280 manpower is a pretty good deal.
We're losing a capture point.
So yep, here comes the Lieutenant. Got the 50 cal coming in. But if you see the command point clock, still really far away from that Greyhound. And there is the forced retreat. Quite expensive still though, 60 munitions. It does I mean, personally, I probably wouldn't have used it in this spot because we're fighting so close to his base. Like him having to retreat and then come back out to win the engagement doesn't really cost him that much time. If you're in like a really far forwards position, like where I am, maybe then makes a little bit more sense, especially if you've got reinforcements coming.
Our riflemen are now trained in long-range tactics. Pathfinders on station and ready for action.
So this was unfortunate timing here. 50 cal gets into the garrison, but he's too close and he has gone for medics. He's going to flame nade me out, and this will result in me losing my fuel. Not like there's any big rush for me to get my fuel though, because I've already got enough for the Greyhound, which is reasonably cheap. 40 fuel. Miragefla going for that AA half track. I believe this has received some buffs as well. Not sure exactly what they are, but okay, no, I go for a mortar. I thought I may go for an ambulance at this stage. Can't exactly remember how this went. Mortar's a pretty sound decision as well. See, this is the Miragefla's mortar. Has a much shorter range. Significantly shorter range. So you have to get it really close to the action for it to be effective. I believe its AoE is also a little bit smaller as well. But because you have to get it so close, the accuracy on it's actually pretty good.
Greyhound, ready for action.
I'm making a mistake there, targeting that squad behind heavy cover first. My 50 cal fails to suppress and they have to retreat it, getting too low. And here comes the flank half track. Trying to send these guys around the shock blocker. Hopefully maybe come around for an anti-tank grenade at some stage. This guy's also getting very close to Vet 1, so I'm sticking around. Here comes the Greyhound. No skirts on it yet. I'm trying to upgrade them, but not yet. Here comes the detected anti-tank grenade, but he forced retreat in that squad, so they couldn't get it off. Greyhound manages to limp away. These guys can't close in with anti-tank grenade. And maybe increase the armor on that, because you can see there my lieutenant was doing just about no damage to it. Maybe increase its resistance to small arms fire, which is probably a pretty good idea, honestly. So recon support, the Greyhound's been changed, which is why I want to go for it. It's like still pretty fragile, even with the armor skirts, but you get to upgrade it with a machine gun as well as the skirts. So it's super lethal against infantry, thanks to that extra firepower from the machine gun. And yeah, should match up pretty well with his flak half track. I mean, he could still beat me with it if it's already set up, but if he's not set up, then the Greyhound should be able to win. And he's kind of aware of that. That's why he's gone for a Shrek for a little bit more anti-tank to keep my Greyhound at bay. And I've still got the 50 cal, though 50 cal doesn't go too well against a half track unless you get it in a building. Obviously then it can't be suppressed and then it will shred this, but out in the open it will just get suppressed and pinned too quickly to do any real damage. And he's changed the airdrop combat group now as well. It's like guaranteed drops one LMG squad, one bazooka squad of paratroopers, plus a anti-tank gun, decrewed anti-tank gun. And he decreased the manpower cost in it and increased it, or gave it a munitions cost. Still very cheap manpower cost for this, considering it gives you 2 squads of paratroopers and a decrewed anti-tank gun. I mean, the paratrooper doctrine, what they cost, is it 360, I think? So yeah, very cheap ability. I mean, obviously it does cost me munitions, but that's alright.
Heavy truck, waiting for deployment.
He's also gone for a kitten. Greyhound does have smoke though, so it can help you in those dicey situations. There you go, forces retreat on my machine gun, which is just a really good play. Somehow this isn't firing. There you go, finally tries to line up a shot, but not in time. I can juke out of there. Few skirmishes. He's making a nice push onto my cutoff here. He's got his truck getting ready to put down his tier 4 tick. Now in his mod you don't get the flak straight away. It's much cheaper to put this down so you can get our obers quite a lot earlier. But you have to upgrade the flak emplacement on it, and you also have to do a side tick upgrade to be able to make tanks. So it's kind of cool because you can, you don't have to rely on coolant infantry, as is quite often the case as OKW. Yeah, so you can get out those obers a bit earlier, which is nice. And yeah, he's kind of by spreading that out, kind of opens up a few more build opportunities, spreading out the fuel costs over a few stages. I can see the barrage range on this. No, it's really short. It's actually really short. Gotta get really close with it. Kind of get lucky here. Misses that first shot. Usually in these situations you would pop smoke, but because he missed that first shot, obviously I decided not to. Save that munitions, which I have a lot of. But I'm at that stage. Quite often I like to just bank up enough fuel so I can go for my major and then a tank straight away. Because that way, if things go wrong, sometimes if you get to major tech fuel costs, you're around 120 fuel, you go for your major, and then your opponent makes a really devastating push with maybe a light vehicle or similar. And then you're stuck with your officer, which doesn't really do much. You're ages away from being able to get a vehicle of some description from that tech. And now you no longer have the option of getting an anti-tank gun, because you can't, you can't even manage to save up the 50 fuel or so to go for the captain.
Our resource sector has been cut off from our supply chain. Support gun, ready for action.
50 cal locking down the centre. After that first skirmish I had with the flak half track and my Greyhound almost died, I was like, oh, I'm just playing it very, very cautiously. But this mortar's starting to do some damage. These are the exact kind of builds that you don't get to see the regular version of the game. I mean, when's the last time you saw a Greyhound? Not since the canister shot was super broken, guaranteed wipe. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of improvements miragefla has made in his mod. which do open up a whole bunch more strategies. So here's my officer, got enough fuel now for a tank, and so does he, so I'm just a little bit late starting my tank. I was busy trying to establish my forward retreat point. So I wasn't really paying close enough attention to that. Call on some Pathfinders as well. I spotted his tech, and I've got a huge munitions float going, so I'm going to call in some of that artillery. He makes a push here. I don't have my machine gun in there, and that is of course the smoke shells on the ISG. Another nice change in the mod. .50 cows going to town here, taking heavy damage, plus an incendiary grenade, but it doesn't really matter too much. Yeah, this is Panzer IV. And there goes one of my rifle squads. A bit late on the retreat there, have to run through those sterns. Calling the artillery, big time whiff. I thought I might be able to hit the ISG with it, but no, not the case. See my retreat path here going towards my forward retreat, so they don't have to go too far. Here comes my Sherman. There goes my 50 cal. Now I stand just about no chance against the Panzer IV frontally. It's got way too much armour. I'm going to go around the side for a bit of a distraction Greyhound manoeuvre, which does make him think twice and back off a little bit. Panzer IV missed there. Oh god. I popped smoke here and I'm going in. I'm going in for the maneuver here. Gonna get a couple hits off on this. He's a bit slow reacting, and in come the Pathfinders, dropping the artillery, bringing up my anti-tank gun. Well, I will be bringing in my anti-tank gun very shortly. He dropped at the moment. Doesn't chase there. Big mistake from him. Also don't understand why he hasn't got the machine gun upgraded on his tank. That is a big mistake as well when he's got so much munitions. Now I don't understand how this building went down to one shot there. You saw that, it was still on about a quarter health. So I figured I'd probably have at least 2 shots, maybe 3 before that went down, but no. So there you go, my paratroopers. Actually it looks like they didn't have a weapon upgrade at all, so one squad of vanilla paratroopers. He did try and salvage this briefly, but had to abandon that to try and fight my rifleman here. Flak Aftrac's coming back. All my tanks are back here repairing. In fact, this squad actually didn't auto repair for some reason. I just manually did it right then. So that push did fail there. A bit late getting my airdrop combat troop going. Now he's super close to this M1 mortar. It's going to start tearing him up if he stays stationary. And there you see it there. 11 kills on this bad boy, and that's 3 against the white phosphorus, I'm pretty sure. So we can do those white phosphorus barrages, which would be nice against like a forward battle group if there's one up here. Kind of negate his healing. I did move my retreat point a little bit further back, but he's just blasting it at the moment. Make a nice push here. Knock out his flak up trap. Here come the bazooka paratroopers from the side. Nice flank. One more shot and it'll go down. And there it goes. Bazooka paratroopers doing the business. They got 2 bazookas. Not to be messed with. And Now he calls in the breakthrough artillery. Hoping to target my forward retreat point. Dodge that though. And he builds a JP4. But yeah, I struck at just the right time there, just before his next medium tank comes out. Personally, you know, I'm just so strapped for manpower at the moment. I've got a lot of squads to upkeep. Can't afford to go for another vehicle at the moment. And I have been playing a bit recklessly as well. Feel like maybe he's made a slight mistake by not getting out an MG34, because I don't have smoke grenades at the moment, so that would actually probably be doing some pretty good suppression on all my squads.
Frag grenades now available for action.
Got them now, but you know, previous to this, during those last couple pushes, I suppose he was relying on his flak half track for suppression, but I feel like an MG34 as well would have been a good decision. So yeah, because he's been using that officer's abilities so much, especially the forced retreat, 60 munitions, he actually doesn't have that much munitions. So he hasn't got any upgrades, STG upgrades. Here comes my Sherman, got a good flank on the JP4, bounces that shot. Trying to get in here for double AT grenades. Clear out his Raketin with my squad charging forwards. Slightly overcooked this though. Bounce. Come on, Sherman. I recruit this just at the right times, dishing out some pretty good suppression. Bounce again. Penetrate on the third shot, which is a big relief. Yeah. So I was like, oh my god, if this fails, I would be very depressed. And there goes my Sherman. Takes a few anti-tank grenades and Panzerfaust. Ends up biting the dust. But that's fair. I'm reasonably happy with that trade. I've still got a lot of fuel in the bank, and he spent just about all of his fuel. He suffered heavy losses of a much more sizable army. So I'm not really going to try push my advantage quite yet. Obviously I've got a lot of stuff requires reinforcing. I want to get my forward retreat point going again. I want to recruit my anti-tank gun. So yeah, I'm not going to try pressure him until all my ducks in a row. He's also salvaged a few of these wrecks now. And I do want to make another push for his tech structure. See, this is the medium panzer authorization. That's the side tech that lets you get tanks. So use the officer, target that squad ability. And I instantly retreat. I believe because of some pretty hefty received accuracy penalties. And comes the Greyhound. This thing, legend. Only got 6 kills, but vet 3. Bazooka paratroopers did some pretty good damage to the Schwer. Then comes the artillery. I've got my anti-tank gun up here, finishes the job. So now he's pretty much done for. I left my Pathfinders up there giving sight to the anti-tank gun, that's why they died. But I mean they're pretty cheap. 210 manpower, and I don't need the artillery for anything anymore now. There's tech structures down, so even them die doesn't really matter too much. So yeah, I think maybe miragefla overused the officer abilities a little bit. Didn't really upgrade his squads with weapon upgrades. So it did buy him, win him a few of those early engagements. Ultimately kind of cost him more in the late game. Also didn't put down any mines, so imagine a few of my daring dives and whatnot would have gone a lot worse. There were some mines down, and he did have 2 stems at one stage, so that probably should have got some mines down. And also putting, I don't understand, I mean, like, yeah, putting your flak base forwards but not upgrading flak cannon on it is it's just too risky. Just put, I mean, you can just put this in your base, you know, it's no big deal. Just like every other faction, you don't have to try and put it ambitiously and get cover important points and whatnot. You just put it in your base just like Austria and Soviets do. Yeah, I hope you got to see a few, if you off-meter commanders here. Got to see some recon support. Got to see the upgraded Greyhound with its machine gun doing some damage. Got to see Pathfinders. Did I see them too often? I didn't really use this much, but probably I knew where most of the stuff was actually. Honestly, didn't really need that. You got to see the airdrop combat group. I did tell miragefla I think this needs a slightly higher manpower cost, like maybe 50 more manpower. At the moment, it's just too good value. But yeah, so hopefully you guys see this mod and motivates you to play it. miragefla quite often streams on his Twitch channel, and you can quite often get games whenever he's streaming. He's usually trying to get games organized on it. So yeah, so I think it's a very fun mod, a lot of upgrades. So yeah, read the changelog and give it a crack. Alright, on there guys, if you'd like your game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.